It's Ebro in the morning. Laura Stiles and Rosenberg. I had to dig in here with New York State Assemblyman Eddie Gibbs. He's on the line right now representing the 68 Assembly District, which is Randall's Island. Was this Central Harlem, East Harlem? What other areas, Eddie, you represent?
I represent East Harlem, Randall's Island, all the areas you are included.
Okay. Eddie's with us today. Very important bill was just passed in June. Kathy Hochul signed it on Wednesday, September 20th in Albany. It got signed into law. So we got to get this information out there. Voting time is on the way. Eddie, this is the Incarcerated Vote Protection Act. What is this about?
Man, first and foremost, thank you for having me, Ebro, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to come.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention, bro.
Yeah, man, certainly. I've been trying to, get this out there for a while. I think people need to know what's going on. As the first formerly incarcerated New York State legislature in New York and in any other government in the United States, I thought it was important that people know, the things that we're doing in the state legislature. And one of the bills that I've passed, A4009, is one of those pieces that I think people should know about. That's my legislation.
So the right to vote might be guaranteed by the Constitution. Still, there are millions of Americans previously convicted of a felony who have lost their opportunity to make their voices heard in the electoral process. Some may never regain the right, while others must pay fines and fees to cast a ballot again legally. What exactly does this bill allow people who are formerly incarcerated or currently locally incarcerated to do?
Man, and listen, I'm glad that I joined my colleague in the Senate, Senator Jamal Belly from the Bronx, to write this piece of legislation. It's a new law that will require all local and county jails to provide notice of voting rights to people being released so that they will know whether and when they are eligible to vote, how to register to vote, and have information about the mechanics and importance of voting.
Well, and just for everyone else out there, I think historically speaking, we know that Black and brown people are incarcerated at a higher rate than other people in this country, specifically men. So removing Black and brown men from the voting process has been a strategy that local, state, and federal governments have participated in since the freedom of slaves.
Yeah.
And so, it still goes on today where they try to make it very common practice in the United States to make felons ineligible to vote permanently. And so this is really just about making sure they get the information and it's made available to people just getting out of jail.
Certainly, yes. So, when you're released from a New York State facility, that particular facility inform you of your rights to vote and tell you how to register to vote. Local jails such as Rikers Island and other local jails in the local towns do not do that. So my law particularly says you are required to do that. So from beginning Wednesday, September 20th, after Governor Hochul signs this bill, it'll become law, and Rikers Island must begin giving out voters registration cards to every individual they release, as well as every other local jail.
In New York State, everybody should know voting rights are automatically restored for people convicted of a felony after they are released from prison. This applies whether or not they are on parole or probation. However, here's the catch. You must re-register to vote. Now, I often talk about on the program, if voting wasn't important, they wouldn't make it so hard.
Right.
It's clearly very important. That's why they want to keep people from voting. So make sure you get this. Now, once again, it's called and you can run your Googles, the Formerly Incarcerated Voter Protection Act.
And the bill number, Ebro, is A4009 if you want to look it up.
And when you give that number out, A4009A, why is that number important? Because is it just hard to find things unless you have that number? Is that the deal?
Well, yes, you can go to the New York State. You go to the New York State website, and they will show you a link where you can simply type in that number, and it will bring you up to the bill or any other bill you want to search.
There it goes. So once again, a lot of times, and I've been confused about this too in the past years with regard to New York State, whether or not people who are formerly incarcerated charged with felonies could vote. It was very confusing. Look, voting in New York State is already confusing, right? Because it's like
Yes.
every year there's a different thing. It's assemblyman, it's governor, it's borough presidents, it's judge. Like it doesn't. The cadence is hard to follow. City
Yes.
councils at a different time than this thing, and this was they make it hard. And I'll be honest with y'all, I've been very critical of New York State, considering itself to be so liberal, and I guess it's liberal relative to other situations. But when you make it hard for people to vote, you're not being progressive and inclusive at all. You're making it way hard because people got jobs and so many things to follow. They should make it very easy. And I think the voting, I don't know, is the voting regulations board or whoever it is here in New York State, y'all make it hard on purpose. I ain't gonna hold you.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you, Ebro. New York has been leading the way with historic gains in voting rights and restorations and reforms. But, we have work to do. But in New York State, like you said, voting rights are automatically restored for people with convicted felony once they are released from prison. This applies whether or not they're on parole or probation. So I think the confusion comes when brothers or sisters are on parole or probation, they think they
right.
cannot vote. No, you can vote while on probation or on parole, as long as you're not in jail. But if you are in prison and you have a misdemeanor, you still can vote from Rikers Island.
Oh, wow, that's a gem. I didn't know that. So even if you're in there for a misdemeanor charge and they're holding you for the trial or whatever, you can still vote while you're in there.
You can sit in your absentee ballot. Yes, you can.
Listen, Assemblyman Eddie Gibbs representing East Harlem, Randall's Island, and all that. I appreciate your time today and getting this word out, man.
I appreciate your opportunity. Thank you, Ebro. I really appreciate you. Look, I got this walk for justice. I'm doing a 10-day walk to Albany in October 15th. I would love to come back on and talk to you as the time nears. But right now, I'm so uber focused on getting this bill passed Wednesday. So I would love to come and chat with you about that walk.
And people gonna walk from the city all the way to Albany?
Yes. So I'm starting from the historic. I'm going up to one of the prisons here in Harlem. I'm leaving from there. I can't say right now, but I'm leaving from a prison in Harlem. And my route walking up north, they said it's a dangerous route because of all the hype political stuff that's going on. I'm walking up US 9 North. And along that route, Ebro, there are two prison hubs. You have the Green Haven hub and you have the Signatory hub. And along those hubs are like 7 to 8 prisons that I'm stopping in and promoting this bill. Now, I mentioned that I'm the first formerly incarcerated New York State legislature. So as that, I can walk into any prisons unannounced and just go and talk to incarcerated individuals as so I desire. So along this walk in 10 days, I would be stopping at every prison along those routes and promote my bills and such.
Well, listen, man, just get us the info and we'll keep shouting it out and bring attention to it, even when you're doing the walk.
I appreciate you, Ebro.
Shoot us the emails and we'll shout it out while you're along the way. Hold you down.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Of course, man. We'll talk soon, bro.